welcome to the first episode of Shalom, y'all. I'm Beth Shulam. I am daughter-in-law to Joseph, wife to Barry, and mother to Joseph the Less. And I am chief cook and bottle washer at Netivyah International, and now I am attempting, from a spark from the Spirit, to start a Bible lesson vlog. But I want to focus on the New Testament and kind of peel away some layers in the New Testament and relate it to the Hebrew Bible. And I'm excited because this is my first time to get in front of a camera. I'm usually the one behind the scenes, but I'm facing one of my biggest fears, and that's being an extrovert. I am an introvert by nature, so all of this does not come naturally to me. So with your patience and grace, we're going to learn a little bit more about God and Yeshua. And this week, we're going to focus on two mountains. Our text is from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 18 to 24. And when I read from the New Testament, I'm going to be using the Jewish annotated New Testament, and it is the New Revised Standard Version. I just enjoy this version, and I like the study notes that it has in it. So this is the one that I go to when I read. So here is Hebrews 12, 18 to 24. You have not come to something that can be touched, a blazing fire and darkness, and gloom and a tempest, and the sound of a trumpet, and a voice whose words made the hearers beg that not another word be spoken to them. For they could not endure the order that was given. Even an animal touches the mountain, it shall be stoned to death. Indeed, so terrifying was the sight that Moses said, I tremble with fear. But you have come to Mount Zion, and to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to innumerable angels in festal gathering, and to the assembly of the firstborn who are enrolled in heaven, and to God the judge of all, and to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, and to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks better words than the blood of Abel. The writer of Hebrews begins by saying, you have not come to a mountain that can be touched, that's burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, despair. This is a direct reference to Mount Sinai, the place where Hashem gave the Torah. So let's go back to Exodus 19, verses 16 through 18. You speak to us, they said to Moses, and we will obey, but let not God speak to us lest we die. Moses answered the people, be not afraid, for God has come only in order to test you, and in order that the fear of him may be ever with you, so that you will not go astray. So the people remained at a distance, while Moses approached the thick cloud where God was. Can you imagine that scene at Mount Sinai with fire, trembling, the earth is shaking, there's a cloud of smoke, and God is descending. But the people say, no, we're in such fear. Moses, you go talk to him, because we are afraid that his voice will kill us. In Jewish tradition, Mount Sinai is the pivotal foundation of God's covenant with Israel. It was a defining moment for Israel, but it showed a problem. God's holiness was unapproachable because of sin. So the people were terrified, knowing they couldn't stand in God's presence without a judgment and fear of death. This sets up a contrast between what the writer of Hebrews is telling us, that we're not standing at Sinai anymore. Something better has come. In verse 22 to 24 of Hebrews 12, it says, "You've come to the Mount of Zion, to a heavenly dwelling place, the heavenly Jerusalem, where the living God is present. And angels are there in festal gathering," which means they're having a party. They're excited. They're joyful. So what's different about Mount Sinai? Again, Sinai is not a place that's welcoming. It's a place of distance and fear. But Zion is a place that welcomes you in. It's a place of joy and a place to dwell with the living God. The heavenly Jerusalem will be the final dwelling place of the redeemed of God. And we see that in Isaiah 2, verses 2 through 3. Here we have the assembly of the firstborn, it says. And this is the body of the Messiah, who's written in the book of life, which you can find in Philippians. And most importantly, we find that Yeshua is the mediator in Mount Zion. And his blood is now what accesses us to the kingdom. Well, here's where it gets really powerful. You have come to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. That's quite an interesting phrase. So let's break it down. What does that exactly mean, the blood of Abel? Well, if you go back to Genesis 4, verse 10, Abel's blood cried out for justice because he was murdered by his brother. But Yeshua's blood cries out for mercy and atonement for sin. Sinai is about distance from God, judgment from God, and atonement for sin. That's perpetual. It never ends. You have to sacrifice animals over and over again to appease God for the sins committed. And that's the system that Israel was under. But through Yeshua's blood, Mount Zion speaks a better word. It says, you're forgiven, you're welcomed, you're part of Jerusalem. You can come near into the kingdom. And you only need Yeshua's blood to do that. God now is accessible to you, where before he was at a distance. So what does this mean for us as believers in Yeshua? Well, first, we can take away that we're no longer under a covenant of fear and distance. God is approachable. No longer are the blood of animals used to just atone for sin. But the blood of Yeshua, his son, is a constant sacrifice, a living sacrifice that never ends, and it's for eternal salvation. We are citizens now in a heavenly Jerusalem, and we look forward to that city that God has prepared for us. And Yeshua's blood is enough to cover our shortcomings. There's no more need to have animal sacrifices as with the old manner. He is our final atonement forever. So as the Hebrew writer says in chapter 4, verse 16, we can approach God's throne now with confidence, with no fear. That's why the power of prayer is so precious, because now we have an avenue of direct communication with God, the creator of the universe. He's no longer at a distance. He no longer needs a middleman. First it was Moses, then the priests, and now Yeshua takes that middleman away with his continual sacrifice so that we are able to approach God with everything, because he has made us clean, white as snow, pure and holy. So, Hebrews 12, 18 through 24 isn't just about two mountains. It's about two ways to relate to God. Through Yeshua, we don't have to stand trembling like they did at Sinai. We're welcomed with joy to God on Mount Zion. At Netivyah International, we have an initiative that we've called the Blue Heart Movement. And one of our goals at Netivyah is to bring awareness to anti-Semitism and the horrors that it's playing in the world of Israel and the Jewish community worldwide. So we came up with this idea, similar to the Stand Up for Jewish Hate and the little pins that they provide, but we decided, let's do something a little different. So we came up with the Blue Heart. So if you would like a blue heart to show your love for Israel and the Jewish people, they're free. You just go to www.netivyahinternational.org and you can see right on the front page the Blue Heart Movement. And we have two kinds of blue hearts. One is a little sticker that you can display on cups, notepads, notebooks, your computer, anywhere that you think people might see it. And we also have 5-inch car magnets. We're calling them car magnets, but they can be displayed anywhere. So if you would like a blue heart, just go to netivyahinternational.org and click on the links and send us an email, and we'll send you one for free. If the first episode of Shalom, y'all, blessed you, then like this, share it, and subscribe to our Netivyah International YouTube channel so that we can keep creating more new content and more interesting things for the community of believers. So, thank you for listening. I hope my short lesson blessed you, and shalom, y'all. Until next time. Bye.
קומי אורי, כי בא אורך, וכבוד אדוני עלייך זרח. קומי אורי, כי בא אורך, וכבוד אדוני עלייך זרח.